Sports fans, welcome back to another edition of Beyond the Sidelines, where we bring you, the athlete. With us today is guest athlete Aaron Wilmer from Delaware Valley, and as always, BSN correspondent Kerry Gibbs here to lead off the interview. Gibbs, what do you got for us?
Well, I'll tell you what, we have a great young quarterback today. As you said, Aaron Wilmer, sophomore quarterback from Delaware Valley. That's D3. He was named a honorable mention, BSN preseason All-American. Let me just run through the stats here for you. He passed for just over 2,700 yards last year, 59% completion rate, 23 touchdowns. He also did some work on the ground, 360 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns on the ground. So, I mean, for a first season at Del Val, he really opened some eyes, and, he was really worthy of that, All-American mention. So
talk about coming in and making a statement right away.
Yeah, tell you what. But, Aaron, entering your first season at Del Val, did you ever imagine that you would be this successful and earn All-American honors after just one season?
Well, Kerry, my goal was always to, be number one, whether I was, when I was at Westchester or at Del Val. And, I mean, I'm still not happy, because I was honorable mention, so I'm still not number one. So, I mean, once I get that first All-American at the end of this season, then I'll be able to sit back and, still be able to work hard, but also know that, I was recognized for it.
Yeah, exactly. And, that's kind of a shout out to Dan Evans. Dan, watch Aaron this year because, he might move up to, third, second, first team, D3. Who knows? But, I mean, with that attitude, you should have no problem being successful this year. And, as I mentioned, you have some pretty good mobility for a quarterback. Talk about your ability to make plays with your feet.
Well, it's not – I mean, if you just look at the stats, you kind of think, oh, he's a scrambler, but that's not the case. Mm-hmm. We run me – like, we have design runs for me, so we get certain coverages in certain situations, and then that's how we open the pass game up more. And also opens up the run game more for our running backs, too, because they don't know what to expect.
Yeah, exactly. And if you look really close to your stats, though, I mean, you're pretty. I would say you're pretty balanced. Maybe more so towards the passing side, because 60% completion rate. That's phenomenal. 23 touchdowns to I think only 10 interceptions or something like that. I mean, you can do it all with the ball. So you're definitely a playmaker, I would say. And
let's not make it look too easy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I give a lot of credit though to Coach Greco, the offensive coordinator, because. I mean, he brought me in from Westchester, and Westchester's known for the offense, mm-hmm. and me and him just kind of clicked offensively, the same scheme pretty much, and I went out there and I tried to execute the best of my abilities, and the offense started off slow because we had, I think, 10 new starters, mm-hmm. and then maybe around like mid-season, we started hitting our stride, and that's when we really started putting up some good numbers.
And let's not forget that great offensive line in front of you. Like we had John Lavelle on the show earlier in the week. Del Val just has the offense, and the defense, so it's going to be fun this year. It really is.
Yeah, our goal is definitely to get down to Salem and compete for the national championship. And, I've only been here 1 year, and I'm already tired of winning the MAC, so I got to get a national championship ring.
It's a great attitude. I got to tell you, going back to John Lavelle, I mean, he's so eager. He had so many great things to say about the offensive line. I mean, it's like having your own personal Secret Service. I mean, those guys just want to plow the road for you and the running backs and the rest of the guys to get downfield. So we're excited about following you this season because I think, you only have up. You're only going up from here. As they say, it can only get better.
Right. And, I mean, the guys up front, man, we got some maulers up front, man. Those guys, they really put their hand in the dirt and just they get nitty-gritty, man.
Yeah, and let's not forget, you have 3 more seasons, am I right? At Del Val?
Yes, I got 3 more seasons, yeah.
How scary is that for these defenses? 3 more seasons of Aaron Wilmer. I can't even imagine. These coordinators must be sleepless at nights. Thinking like, wow, how am I going to stop this offense? But it's definitely going to be fun. It's really going to be fun.
Those guys playing for me just makes me work that much harder, Kerry. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I mean, I was out working yesterday with Coach Greco, just throwing the ball, doing quarterback stuff, mentally knowing the game better. So, I mean, it's almost like you evolve. They do things to adjust to my game, and I do things to adjust to what they're doing.
It's a chess match.
Just keep going.
Yeah,
exactly.
And don't take offense to this next question, which I know you won't. We've talked about this, but you're not the prototypical size for a QB. You know, you're 5'10", 5'11", which is fine. I mean, you can definitely make plays. But, you know, have you ever been told in your career that maybe you don't have the size to play in college or play the quarterback's, you know, position in college? And if so, what would you say to those people now that you've been named an All-American?
Well, coming out of high school, Kerry, I was recruited by a lot of D1 AA and the lower tier 1A schools primarily as an athlete. And only one D1 AA school gave me a scholarship to play quarterback, and that was Fordham University. And then they rescinded their offer because Northeastern and Hofstra folded their football programs. Mm-hmm. And it's more reasonable to take a transfer quarterback than, you know, get a true freshman coming in.
Yeah.
So Coach Juan at Westchester, they gave me the opportunity to play. But, I mean, yeah, I have heard, you know, you're too short to that. But it's a different perspective when you're behind the offensive line, because everybody says, oh, you can't see. But you're throwing through lanes, and if you know your offense well enough, you'll be able to dictate where the ball goes and where to move guys on defense and how you see the safety. But it's not that difficult. I got one name for you, and that's Russell Wilson. Look at Russell Wilson. He's third round pick. Mm-hmm. Seattle Seahawks, and they're already talking about him being a starter. So
Drew Brees, you know, not the biggest guy. Kellen Moore, with the winningest, you know, quarterback in college football history. You know, the list goes on, and you know, if no one can say anything, I mean, obviously you're an All-American. No one's going to say anything to you now. If they would, they would be very ignorant. So obviously, you know you can play. Everyone else does. Now all you got to do is just, you know, put it to use, you know, win, and that's what you've been doing. I mean, you guys went undefeated last year in the regular season. All you got to do is win.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been the same height. You know, I've been playing at this height, you know, my whole life. So, I mean, it's you know, it's not very hard for me to do. But for somebody that's like 6'3", they go like, oh man, how do you see? But I mean, just look at the numbers, and you know, they don't lie.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what? I mean, you look at it, you got to assume that a lot of the defensive coordinators came out, you know, not intimidated. Aaron came out, made a huge statement. He was a secret weapon, and you know what? You know, I don't care if you're 6'4" or 5'2". If you're a student of the game and you know how to play, you know what the next level is always looking for from high school to college to college to pro is, can you play the game? You know, and I can attest. I mean, going into the NFL, I was 5'10". People wanted 6'4" punters, but I could kick the ball. And Aaron can throw the ball. Aaron can run. He can move. There are a lot of benefits to that. You know, unfortunately, the secret is out. And being 5'10", that doesn't matter anymore, because now defensive coordinators are sitting here thinking, okay, forget the stats. How do we stop them? You know, what are they going to be throwing at us next?
And I'm glad they're doing that, because, I mean, that's only going to get me better and prepared for the NFL, okay?
Exactly. And like you said, Jimmy, the secret's out, and it's going to be fun this year to watch, you know, how this secret works out now that everyone knows how to plan for it. And like you said, you know, Aaron, it's just going to make you that much better. You're going to have to plan that much harder, and it's really going to be fun to watch. I really can't say that enough about this Delaware Valley offense. Now, you know, I was going through the stats earlier, as I do, and, you know, you were very good at spreading the ball around to different receivers. And I'll run through this. You had 5 receivers that had 17 receptions or more. 6 receivers caught multiple touchdowns. You know, talk about your receiving core that you have returning this season and what they're capable of.
Well, we're losing our number one guy, Rodney Blango, to graduation. Obviously, he did great things for us. But the young guys we got coming up, we got Lewis Vincent, number 83. He had a breakout year. Mm-hmm. We got Chris Ruiz returning. He's going to be returning senior, speedster guy, kind of in the slot. And we have some transfers coming in. We got this kid Alante Allen transferring in from a D2 school out in Maryland. So, I mean, we got a lot of pieces coming in, and once we get them into camp and get the offense down, I mean, I think we're definitely poised for a national championship run.
Yeah, that loss of Blanco really hurts you, but I mean, like you said, you got all the pieces coming in, and you know, with your ability to spread around the ball, it shouldn't be a problem for you. You know, pick up right where you left off.
Well, you know, it's great if I can jump in here. When you look at what Aaron has to look forward to, you've got a very young receiving core, and the group is going to be able to just advance and get better. You've got a couple of more off seasons together. I mean, by the time you guys are seniors, I mean, I can only imagine how in tune and on the same page you guys are going to be. And that's got to be fun, because right now you're young. You've got that idea of, we have nothing to lose. We're going to go out there and just do our thing. You know, but having experience at seeing how groups that advance each year, it's not like you're turning over players. I mean, you've got 3 years to go out and make a huge statement with that receiving core.
Right. Well, I mean, the goal is to win this year, though, Jimmy. I mean, please don't, get it messed up. But yeah, definitely, us staying together and growing together as a group, we should definitely be at the top of our game by our senior year.
Yeah, no question about that. Now, let's talk about last season, because you guys had a really great season. What was the most satisfying win to you last season?
I mean, my first start was pretty good. We won last play in overtime. We beat Lycoming. They were undefeated coming in, I think.
Great defense.
But I would have to say, they had number 2 overall defense, I think, in Division 3. But definitely the wider win, because we clinched the MAC, and we won the Keystone Cup. So, I mean, that was definitely a big game for us. And we had an offensive explosion that day. I think I had maybe 5 touchdowns passing, 1 running, 300-some yards passing, 100 yards on the ground. So that was definitely a big game for us. And it was probably the most fans we had at any of our games this year, too. Probably around 5,000, I think.
Yeah. Well, and, if you don't mind looking ahead, what do you see as a big game this season?
Well, I mean, I don't want to look too far ahead during the season, but obviously number 1 would be Rowan. But if you were asking me, to just pick a game where I would really want us to, really come to play, probably be the Widener game again, just because I know they're coming to get revenge. And, they were up that last year, 28-14, and we came back and won. I think it was 52 something, 52-25. I can't remember the score, but
very high.
They're definitely coming back and poised. And they got a pretty good quarterback over there too, and Chris Hopp. So, I mean, that's going to be pretty good for the conference.
There you go, Jimmy. Game of the week, another one. Chalk it up.
Yep.
And Aaron, I told you this earlier. We had John Lavelle, your offensive lineman, on the other night. And he, like Jimmy said, he talked you up so much. He had nothing but great words for you. What's your relationship with your offensive line? How do they make you a better player?
Well, I mean, we're all a close-knit group of guys. I mean, especially during the off season, we're waking up, 6:00 in the morning, going to morning workout. All the offensive lines in there working out, and I mean, we got a great off the field relationship. Me, John, Joe. I mean, we got a lot of guys. Joe and John, they're local guys, so I'm kind of closer to them because they live in Philly. But I mean, I'm closer to everybody else too. But it definitely helps to have that camaraderie and that group feeling that we go out there and just compete.
Yeah, and that chemistry is key, to your success, and it obviously shows, in the wins column. You guys are close knit, as you said, and it's only going to get better.
More fun winning with your brothers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you just finished up your first season at Del Valle. Talk about your time there thus far, and what made you choose to go there after transferring.
Well, like I said, they gave me a great opportunity to come in and play, and I mean, I loved Westchester. Man, Westchester's a great school. It's just that me and Coach Juan, we had a different timetable on when I should play and when I shouldn't play, and things didn't work out so well. But Coach Greco, he's actually a local guy too. He lives not too far from me, and I knew him growing up. And he said, we got a spot for you. And then I came and I won the job during camp, and rest is history.
Yeah, obviously, and Jimmy, as we talked about in one of our prior interviews, it's just great how things just line up and work out so perfectly. And with it's no different with Aaron's case. He just came to the right place, right time, right system. And that's what it boils down to.
Oh yeah, I mean, just the stories that follow these athletes make it really unique on an individual basis, and how they got to be there. Whatever school that they've chosen, and it's just great to see it working out. It's really great to see these athletes comfortable, happy. Aaron, what are some of the things that your offensive coordinator does to keep things fun, fresh? What are some of the things that stick in the back of your head? Whether they're funny or serious, that helped you on a game-to-game basis, practice-to-practice basis.
Well, I mean, before every practice, maybe about in between class, I go down there, me and Coach Greco, pop in the film. We just develop a game plan. And that's just a fun part to me. Just picking apart a defense, seeing where the holes are in the defense, how we get them in cover 3, cover 2, cover 4, cover 8, all that types of stuff. It really that's the fun part for me, because then I go out there prepared. I'm well prepared. Go out there and I just execute. It shows we had 10 wins, and that's pretty much the behind the offensive. The offensive scheme right there.
Yeah.
It's like two generals preparing for battle each week.
Yeah.
And it sounds
fun,
like
man.
you
It
enjoy
really
it.
is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's great to hear.
And it's that kind of preparation, that led you to be honored as an All-American by us. And what does that honor mean to you, being named a BSN All-American?
Well, it's a great honor, but I'm still not happy, man. Like I said, if it was up to me, I would put myself up for the Gagliardi Trophy as soon as possible. But obviously, I got to put up the numbers that they want, and I plan on doing that this season. And
it's that kind of confidence that's going to take you to that top, that top tier of players. And you have all the potential, all the talent to do that. And Jimmy, this is the best of the best right here, I think, when it comes to D3 QBs.
Well, and I love seeing the story develop, and what I mean by that are the young athletes. And of course, not to take anything away from the season, but I was fortunate enough to go through my 5 years, because I was redshirted, with 23 seniors at the end, and I just have the flashbacks, and I see what Aaron's got, and I just think there's a lot of fun. Obviously, you take each game, as it comes. You never look ahead. But I'm excited for him. I remember my days, and I think back. They've got a young crew that's going to grow and mature together and have fun together. And hey, I'm hoping they have a ton of championships, to talk about later on. And we'll fill content out the yin yang. Interviewing. We'll be interviewing the water boy for Del Val if he keeps up like this.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be fun year. It's going to be a really fun year for us.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. And Aaron, thanks for coming on today. We love your story. We love the way you play on the field. The season can't come soon enough for you guys.
I was telling my coach yesterday, it's only 1 month away, man, because camp starts August 11th. And I tell you what, man, I'm fired up and I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Well, take it as it comes, because I have a feeling by about the third or fourth practice of 2 days, you're going to be sitting there going, I kind of missed my time off.
Yeah. That's the bad part about, football camps, that it cuts your summer short. Everybody wants to go down the shore, but, if you want that goal, you got to go get it. You can't just sit around and wait for it to come to you. You got to go grab it.
Oh, some of my best memories are back from 2 days when we were all dying out there together and jumping into the ice tubs and freezing like crazy. But you know what? It's worth it, because, at the end of the season, when you have a winning season, you put it in together. You had fun together, and like Harry said, we're looking forward to following you. I want to wish you the best of luck, from BSN, and just keep us updated with that story. Keep that profile updated so we can continue to follow and promote you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I really appreciate being on, and thanks for an honorable mention All-American selection, and hopefully by the end of the year, I'll get you guys first team selection. So.
No doubt about
there you
it.
go. Dan Evans is going to be notified.
Thanks a
All
lot,
right,
Aaron.
thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks, Aaron.